Okay, with it being after 7 o'clock, we'll call the April 24th meeting to order and start out with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start off with the minutes for April 10th.
I read them, and I found them to be accurate with no changes. I'm not sure everybody else like to second that?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. I just have one, I'm going to take out of order. Notice of intent for 242-1887, 156 and 172 Chestnut Street. I don't know if there's a butters here for that, because they're going to have to continue. So I didn't want you to wait the whole time. So there's no butters for that one. Okay.
For Chestnut Street. We're owners, 172, 156. We're owners there.
You're the owners?
Owners?
Well,
Okay, we received email from Jack Sullivan, the engineer, needing a continuance to the May 8th meeting because there's some plan changes that need to be made. So we won't.
Off the hook today.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry they didn't communicate with I just assumed he'd communicate with everybody.
May 8th,
May 8th.
we want to just pass it.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Thanks for saying that right up front.
I know, I just
Mr.
didn't want you
Chairman,
to say, I
so
just
moved.
didn't know.
I'll move
Second.
that.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Okay.
So,
So-
see you on the 8th. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
NACC number 240-505, Sutton Street, request to continue till 5/8.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. I'll grab the other one while I'm here. 242-1817, Osgood Street, 125, request to continue till May 8th.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. All right, COC 242-1848, 463, excuse me, Winter Street.
All right, this order issued in July of 2022 governed upgrade of an existing septic system outside the 50-foot no-build zone and reconstruction of existing stairs and refurbishing decking of the existing deck. Deck is also outside of the 50. All work is complete. Board of Health has issued their certificate of compliance and the site is stable. Erosion controls are removed and wetland markers are installed. So I recommend issuing a full and complete certificate of compliance with ongoing conditions.
Jack? Yeah.
No questions.
Al?
No question.
Marissa?
No questions.
Sean?
No questions.
Motion?
I move that we grant the COC for 242-1848, 463 Winter Street.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
That was with ongoing conditions.
With, of course, the ongoing conditions, yes, of course, Joe.
242-1841, 479 Lacey Street.
Oh, 47, sorry. No. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the right plan up. Yeah. All right. Okay, this order was issued in May of 2022, and it governed the construction of a new 71 by 18 shed to be placed on a concrete slab and stone infiltration trench to capture the new roof runoff, to be located at the rear of the existing riding arena, perpendicular to an existing shed that was going to stay at the time. There is a uncertified vernal pool in part of the wetland, and the proposed building was to respect the 75-foot no-build zone. Some features, including hoop tents for storage, were encroaching into the conservation restriction, and that was a condition of the approval that those things be removed, and then the corners of the conservation restriction be monumented by survey. Work has not started yet, and in the interim, they've been thinking about alternative designs to make it more functional. So the modification includes an L-shaped steel building addition to the rear of the riding arena, which would be 75 by 25 and then 25 by 28, which is an increase of 282 square feet over what was already approved. So it's not a huge addition, but it's, a little bit of increase. The new building in this plan still respects the 75-foot no-build zone. I had asked that roof runoff be looked at for management, and they're proposing to do a Cultec infiltration system between the riding arena and the new building. A test pit was done in that area. Let's see, installation of a water line, 22 feet of which is in the outer reaches of the buffer zone on the northerly side of the existing arena is also proposed. Mary Rimmer's here this evening, the wetland consultant, if you have questions for her. And I guess we can do questions, then I'll give you my
Brad, do you have any questions?
recommendations.
Is this slab on grade construction? Okay. Typically, we don't like to see the infiltration chambers that close to a building foundation, but slab on grade, you're not worried about it getting in the basement or anything like that. And you got nowhere else to put it.
Nowhere else to put it. The original design had a shed roof, if you recall. This new design is a gabled roof. So the original design was just to capture runoff the back of the building with trench. This is now directing with roof drains and gutters to the front into a Cultec chamber system. So hopefully it's considered an improvement to existing conditions. The rear corners closest to the wetlands are in the exact same location, not any closer. So.
Yeah, I took a look. When this came across my desk yesterday, I took a look when I dropped my daughter off there for her
good.
lesson yesterday.
Good.
Oh, hi.
Everything looks normal back there. The only concern I did have, which is totally out of bounds of this discussion, is there's a bunch of that shredded rubber, like flooring stuff.
They use that inside the arena.
I know they use it inside the arena.
As footing,
But
yeah.
there's kind of some that's left to that shed right there. It looks like it might
We'll
be
make
ready
sure
to
we
wander down the
clean that
hill.
up, yeah.
I would appreciate that.
They do stockpile some if they had a proper shed.
Yeah, like I
It
said,
would be easier to put it in.
I'm out of
yeah.
bounds of this discussion.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
I have no other questions for them.
Thank you. Jack?
Yeah, the only one other question I had was about the Cultec. What's the ground surface above that? Is it soil or is it paved or it's soil?
Soil, it's all gravel, compacted gravel right now, and it will be. So they did test pits to confirm that there's adequate infiltration capacity there, and yes, it'll just be recovered with soil.
Would that be prone to damage if they choose to park vehicles back there or,
No, I think it's designed so that it will accommodate tractors and vehicles, because they will be driving directly over it.
The Coltex are
Yep.
rated for vehicles, if they have the proper barrier depth.
even with soil over the top?
I think the next sheet might show the cover over the
Yeah, it's only
units.
6 inches, that's not an H20, that's
Yeah.
not an H20. That is no vehicles over it. In fact, even a single hoof at that shallow depth could be an issue.
What would-
He's got great depth groundwater though. He could
He could
push
go,
the thing
just
deeper.
put 'em deeper, so
He
if-
could push this thing deeper. And
Yeah, you could certainly make that a condition if there's a number that works better.
The manufacturer's gonna have that number. And you're right, it's more than 6 inches.
I guess it's washed stone is what he's proposing around it.
Filtered fabric. Well, what is the ground elevation at that point? Maybe we're not even seeing the proper barrier depth. That's just the invert of the system, or should be the crown of the system.
Yeah, he's actually labeling everything invert, that's just a drafting error.
What is the ground elevation?
Invert's the 12275, the top of that chamber is 18.5 inches higher than that, then 6 inches more makes the top of ground 12479.
Okay, and we
Those are
got
just drafting errors.
And we got 126 contours to this area, so maybe he does have the depth, he just doesn't have it labeled, the detail labeled properly.
I didn't cross-reference the contours, so yeah, maybe the cross-section's not correct.
So,
Yeah, 126.
It's really not
I'll
a concept.
confirm that, yeah.
He's
So, are we happy with that?
He's got 2 feet of cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, if you put the two together, that's correct, but
Doesn't
he
it-
just has this
it's
misdrawn.
mislabeled
yeah.
on the drawing.
Mislabeled, yeah.
Yeah.
So, considering that he's going to hand these to a contractor and ask him to build it?
He will be there, he will be
I just,
with the contractor when they're
Good.
installed.
very good.
So we'll make sure that happens.
It should be clear on the design plans, just so it's done right.
Amy, you should make a notation for that for the pre-construction too. To verify the plan has a 2-foot cover, not 6 inches.
If he struck those words invert, except for the bottom one, which isn't, excuse me, except for the middle one, which is the invert, strike the top and bottom one, and just put another line on it and call it 126 finished grade, he'd be all set.
Okay.
Do you have any more questions?
That's all.
Jack?
Thanks, no.
Joe?
So my recollection on this is that we didn't have a heck of a lot of butter activity the last time around. I mean, this is borderline, not a modification, but the reality is, they haven't started anything, permit's still in effect. I mean, I think we would reach the same result and not protect the neighbors any more than we're gonna do now, even through a modification. So I think we do probably, lean towards the modification on this. And that's all I have. Everything else seems to be straightforward and pretty thoroughly shown with the corrections we just talked about. I'm all set.
Okay. Al? Marissa?
I'm all set, thank you.
Sean?
I'm all set as well.
Motion.
So I'd recommend, if you're comfortable, issuing a modification to the order. And I do have a couple of extra conditions that we could add. So obviously, the existing conditions of the order should be complied with. That goes without saying, but sometimes you got to say it. All stormwater best management practices shall be maintained as specified in the pollution prevention operation maintenance plan. And then reporting yearly on those activities. And then having this modification recorded at the registry, which we usually don't. But since we have an O&M with this now, I think it's appropriate to do that. And then I guess at the pre-construction meeting, I'd need a revised plan for the 2-foot cover, right?
Yep.
It was just a drafting error, but just suppose they're gonna make the change, but I just wanna verify that it
Yep.
happens.
And that's it.
So, just to understand sequencing, so you do the pre-construction, they hand you the plan. That's gonna be before they record, because you wanna make the citation on that revised modification, citing the actual date of that plan you receive.
Okay. So before I issue the modification, so that I have that
Yeah.
plan.
That's fine. We
Okay.
can do that.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I don't think we do. I move that we grant the minor modification as discussed and with the additional provisions added.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you. Small project, NACC number 93, the renewal for 660 Great Pond Road, the Giving Gardening at Rolling Ridge.
Alrighty, so this is a yearly renewal of a small project for organic garden at the Rolling Ridge facility. And Fran Fink is here with us this evening. She always prepares the annual report on the year's activities. And they didn't do any major projects this past year. You know, in the past, they had a composting toilet installed or constructed by an Eagle Scout. And I guess this year, an Eagle Scout constructed new compost bins that provides for removal of partitions and better management of the compost. But in general, all of the same practices that they use every year is just ongoing. And I think their report said that they produced 10,649 pounds of fresh
That's
produce.
an amazing, I'm looking at it, that's an amazing number. Good job.
And that gets distributed to various organizations and is part of their rent to pay for their space on Rolling Ridge. So if you have any questions for Fran, if not, I would just recommend renewal. And we usually have the conditions that, you know, they maintain their farming activities per the plan. The Water Commission, which is the holders of the conservation restriction on that property, be notified of the renewal, and then only organic weed and pest control shall be used on site, which they do.
Thank you. Brad, any questions?
You're doing great work.
Oh, thank you.
Jack?
Enjoy it.
Joe?
Yeah, same here, I mean, you, just accolades, great work you do, and you've been a good steward of the land out there for us.
Come on down and volunteer.
And won't get me in trouble again. I'm all set.
Well, the most important thing, the toilet still works.
Yes, yes.
No question. Nice job. 10,000 pounds of vegetables, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's great. I'm all set. I don't have any questions.
Sean,
No questions here.
motion
What do you look
To renew
They renew
Oh.
the license.
to
with
renew the
conditions
license.
as prescribed.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Is it a yearly thing?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fran.
And it's mostly to give them credit to come here and brag about what great
Yeah,
work they
I know.
do. Yeah.
It's beautiful, it's beautiful.
Tag him, I thought.
Next one is an RDA 201 Amberville Road.
Existing conditions plan first. Okay. So this project involves construction of a permeable paver patio.
Say that faster.
I know. Associated retaining walls and masonry stairs outside of the 50-foot no-build zone. Total square footage of the patio and stairs is approximately 245 square feet. The patio will be located at the left side of the house, and the lower masonry stairs will connect to the existing deck at the rear via pavers that will be set in lawn. Existing grade along the left side of the house is sloped, so this requires some grading and associated retaining walls to create the level terrace for the patios and the steps and the staircase. At its closest point, the pavers, which are just individual blocks set in lawn, will be just inside the 50. And then the current existing planting beds will be removed where the area of the patio is proposed right next to the house. There are some existing violations within the 25 on this site, and that includes a shed and a chain link fence and landscape beds. They are proposing to remove all of that from the 25. install a new chain link fence at the edge of the 25 and allow for the 25 to renaturalize. They do want to do other fencing on the sides, a privacy fence on the easterly side where the patio is going to be, and install native plantings along or adjacent to the new fence on the lawn side, the upland side. They're proposing all native plantings to be replacing lawn. And let's see, the wetland was delineated in August of 2023 by Williams and Sparagus. We did inspect the wetland line. We found it to be accurate. And we have project representative here this evening if you have more questions. So you can introduce yourself.
I'm Russell Stott. I'm a partner at Andover Landscape Design and Construction. Working with Dean Hodling here, who's the owner of the property. Our team put together the design work here, and we'll also be executing it, hopefully per your approval. So any questions, please have at it.
Brad?
The shed is to be removed, not relocated, right?
Correct.
Everything's being taken out of the 25, or near this, near.
Yeah, I was just wondering where else they're going to put it. Looks like a nice new shed there, so.
It's gonna be removed, I mean, I don't think we have any other place to put it, so
Yeah.
that was, they already bought the house, so we
Yeah.
can move it to right here with the,
I thought I was making sure, because it didn't look like there's anywhere else to put it.
yeah, there's nowhere else to put it, it's just gotta go.
Want a shed, Brad?
No other questions.
Yeah, pay for a price.
Jack?
No, I have no questions on this.
Joe?
No, it's pretty straightforward. I'm all set.
All set.
The, just a quick question, on the permeable paver patio or terrace,
Yep.
does that have an under drain or anything, or is it just blocks set on stone?
It's basically open graded base, so in this case, where we're building this wall system, it's gonna be probably 2 to 3 feet of crushed stone underneath permeable pavement, so essentially that whole thing is gonna be a massive dry well.
great.
So there'll be a lot of 3/4 stone on that hillside.
Yeah. That's all, thank you.
John?
Amy, in your write-up, you referenced at its closest point, the pavers will be set in the lawn connecting to the existing deck to the new patio stairs will be just inside the 50-foot, and that's because the stairs are already inside the 50-foot, right? Yep.
Right.
And I know there's a CR out there. This is, the CR is further back, right?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. No other
Yeah,
questions.
definitely.
Do have a follow-up question. It was only in the conversation regarding the fence. I heard you say that they were going to remove the fence across the back and relocate it at the 25.
25.
Nowhere in here do I see that in writing. In fact,
So-
on the contrary, I see the to be removed.
Okay.
Do you see the proposed landscape plan? There's two, that's existing conditions, and then there's a proposed plan.
I got it up on the screen. That helps. So,
I do see it there, okay. So, okay, the first one is
Oh,
existing
actually, I'm
condition to be
sorry.
removed, but not reset, but the second one is where it gets reset.
Yeah,
so
correct.
actually, it's gonna be a wood post with wire mesh. It's not a chain link.
It's a
right?
little prettier than chain link,
Yeah, okay. At the 25,
right?
yeah. And they are proposing erosion controls, which I think instead of straw wattle, we probably want mulch sock.
Okay,
You
that's
know,
fine.
bark mulch.
That's fine.
And also, we'd want a second line, maybe entrenched silt fence between when you go to remove the shed and the existing fence, just to protect the wetland from that activity.
So,
So
just behind the
behind
shed,
it, yeah,
silt
exactly,
fence,
Yeah.
just in that
Just-
area?
yeah.
And then and then a mulch sock just
At the-
behind
at
the 25, got it, no problem.
Maybe you said the self-fence prior to the removal of the shed?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to that fence across the back. We're not so concerned about coming up either side, but typically, and I don't know if it held true on Amberville. Amberville was a PRD?
Yes.
It was, so there may have been concessions made, but typically, we would require a physical barrier along the 25. And I know in some instances, there were fences, there were not fences. In some instances, there were people who just filled way beyond, but the right neighborhood?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I do see a fence in what's probably the wrong location, but the new fence, what is a 4-foot-high fence with wire mesh and wooden posts? What does that look like? Is it a physical barrier?
Yeah.
Did we require a physical barrier to begin with?
I don't think they required any physical barriers out there.
I keep looking at you for a reason.
Yep.
Very familiar with it.
And it was tough to try to get anything in there because it's all surrounded by wetlands, so you had to shoehorn it in.
Yeah.
But I don't think along a lot of that, there's a retaining wall that separates, about 2 or 3 foot elevation, which kind of serves as its own barrier.
So what is this wire mesh fence? What do you propose there? What does it look like?
It's a good question. I could show you a picture on my phone.
That
But
would be helpful.
in summary, it's 4x4 cedar posts. That then there's a wire mesh that basically gets attached to it. So the intent is
It sounds to me like chicken wire, and I know it's not. I know it's not.
trust me when I tell you.
That's what it sounds like.
Fancy chicken.
Sounds like chicken wire.
I don't think Russell will put up a chicken wire fence.
Take out chain link, put in chicken wire.
So there are,
It might be really nice.
so while
chicken
he's looking
wire.
at that photo, there are no other violations out there. There's nothing, no dumping beyond
No.
that we're worrying about. So
No.
whatever physical barrier was functioning was working and doing its job.
Right.
I want to make sure that
Yeah.
this relocated fence continues to do that.
Right.
So that's all I'm driving at.
It's almost at the same place it is now. The only difference is
It's serving its purpose. I just want to make sure the relocated
Yeah.
one continues to do that.
Yeah, so-
What the designer just showed me meets that physical barrier, that I would be satisfied.
okay, there's no more questions, the motion?
So, okay, I recommended closing the hearing and issuing a -3. And I have some conditions. Prior to any work, erosion controls, 12-inch mulch stock backed by silt fence between the patio work and the wetland, and then a silt fence behind the shed for shed removal and fence removal. Pre-construction site inspection with the Conservation Department, the contractor, and the applicant to inspect the installed erosion controls, review scope of work, and the permit conditions. And then prior to any work on the patio, all violations must be removed. And let's see, all construction equipment, supplies, and excess excavated materials should be stockpiled within the driveway or adjacent thereto, up gradient of the patio work. And then a post-construction meeting with the Conservation Department just to verify site conditions and then approve removal of erosion controls upon stabilized conditions.
Okay. Need a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
And that's to move to close it and issue
Close and
those
issue.
conditions.
Who seconded that?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Great, thank you very much.
Okay, where are we? Next one is, we have a whole bunch of continuances. 242, no number, 492 Sutton Street, request to continue till May 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. NOI 242, 1876, 492 Sutton Street, request to continue to May 8th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. You want to, well, let's hear this one, I think, because the applicant, I'm sure, is here. 242, 1878, 30 Ann Road.
Alrighty. Okay, so the commission will recall recall, this project involves abandoning the existing septic system and connection to sewer via 2-inch force main. We agreed that this notice of intent and order will only cover sewer connection. Any other improvements on the property will need to come under a separate application, and additional delineation of the wetlands and inspection for vernal pool function would need to be done at that time. Commission requested that a dewatering detail be placed on the plan, and a notation that the force main must be sleeved for insulation over the existing culverts and then 10 feet on either side. Both of those notations have been added. The commission also asked for an executed easement to be recorded to ensure proper permissions are in place, since it's a shared driveway and a lot of the work for the sewer main installation will be on the abutting property that physically owns the driveway. So we have that in place. That's in your packets. Project engineer is here this evening if you have any questions. It just took a while to get the easement in place, and then we had quorum issues, so.
Thank you.
But I have a decision ready for tonight, and I think you guys could probably close.
Brad, any questions?
Is it privately maintained sewer system, or is this?
My name's Alex Chongs, by the way, with Chongs Engineering. Yes, this is a private easement, so the town, when these houses were built, there was no town sewer at the bottom of the cul-de-sac. The town brought in public sewer and then at a certain date, and now we're trying to connect to it. So where the whole construction process is happening is all privately maintained, yes, but connecting to a public sewer.
We're open trenching the whole way?
Yes.
I have no questions.
No question.
My only question is, Amy, you said dewatering, let me get it right here.
Dewatering is outside the buffer,
Yep.
I don't,
or the outer reaches, very outer reaches.
what's it near, is it near the start?
The pit is near the, you know where the septic tank is, the existing septic tank north of the house?
Okay,
There, right there, the dewatering is not anticipated, but it's shown there, and it's going to be installed if it is encountered.
see, I have an issue, it's not your application. I don't agree with having just the dewatering stuff there.
Yep.
I want the dewatering pit installed.
Oh, it
Because-
is installed. It's
So you are installing?
It's, if you look on the construction sequence, it's
Okay.
number 2 sequence.
That's fine. And the other quick thing that Joe and I insisted on, the clarification on the easement.
Yep.
You never know.
We've got that now.
Oh, yeah, no, and like, again, the easement was poorly written easement initially. It was weird. The easement only covered half the driveway, so
Yeah,
they were able to work.
You were a little reluctant when we were discussing it. You thought, well, no sweat.
Yeah, no,
Well, guess what? It was no
what
sweat.
happened was the neighbor right across the street just sold the house as soon as we had a meeting, so it was a hard time finding, like, the new owners, and it was,
Oh, yeah.
lawyers do their lawyer things. I don't
We've
speak
been here at
lawyers.
least a week.
What do you say?
I said, we've been here at least a week.
Yeah, right?
Thank you.
Yep.
Melissa?
No questions.
Sean?
No question?
Motion?
So close the hearing, and I have a draft decision for tonight.
Move to close initial decision.
Second.
21 days.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, Alec. Appreciate it.
Next one is 242-1884, 49 Court Street. Requesting,
Yeah, they request to continue to May 8th.
So moved.
Second.
What's the, I am curious, will we have a parallel action separate, when we continue this and eventually hear it again?
Yep.
I mean, is,
So we're we're keeping the enforcement order in place, cease and desist work, while we review the NOI. And they have their surveyor was out there on Monday. They provided me with a draft progress print at 5 o'clock today, so.
so they should be ready to go for the next one?
Yeah, yes.
well, I would hope that they are, because I was told that I can't make a motion to deny, but
Based on the other item?
if it's not here next meeting, I would hope one of my fellow commissioners will step up to the plate.
I encourage Mr. Chairman to follow Robert's rules.
I will make my decision based on the information available, whether it's there or not.
Thank you.
We have nothing that can be opened at this meeting because
That's right.
nothing received within the beyond the 5 days.
Right. All right, so we need a motion to continue?
Yes, I'll move that.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Next one is 242-1885, 416 Abbott Street. Request to continue to May 8th.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Next one is, so many continues, I'm losing my spot here.
1886.
Yeah, 242-1886 Stevens Street. Request to continue to May 8th.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say
didn't-
aye.
We didn't leave them with a long shopping list. What, this is
Town-
now 2 meetings.
There are
Town
2 championship
engineer-
games on tonight,
Okay, very good, we're all set.
which is where we should be.
Yeah, that could be it.
Next one is 242-1887, 156-172 Chestnut Street. Request to continue.
We already did that.
May 8th.
No, that's right, we did say that already.
We took
Sorry.
that one out of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. CRS. 242-1888, 58 Meadow.
I have the same thing.
You guys can come and sit up here together if you want, at the table. I'll give a rundown and... All right, so the project involves construction of a replacement septic system with a new 1,500-gallon tank, D-box, a 42 by 20 pipe and stone leach field to replace the existing. The northerly side of the field will be constructed at the top of a slope, requiring grading on that side. A geomembrane is proposed wrapping around 3 sides of the system on its westerly side. The existing leach field is located approximately 25 feet east of the new system, and the old tanks somewhat overlap. Old and new tanks somewhat overlap in their footprints. A temporary gravel construction route from the road with a terminal crushed stone filter berm is proposed. It's an uphill route to the flat part where the system will be installed. I did ask about dewatering. The engineer provided you with test pit information for groundwater elevations. He does not expect the need for dewatering based on that information. A summary of the rest of my questions and responses are provided in your packet. I just had some questions about FEMA and datum source and such. I inspected the wetland delineation and found it to be accurate. It's BVW associated with the Fish Brook that is there's an impoundment right next to the property, and the riverfront was just measured from the center line of that. But the BVW edges have no riverine characteristics. It's pretty still and, you know, there's no evidence there. I would like to see well, let me show you pictures, because the slope on the northerly side is, you know, I always worry about slopes, so that's not it, I'm sorry. So the field is going to be here, but this slopes off. So I just wanted, this is a shed and it slopes this way. I thought maybe additional erosion controls just on that side. So that's the route to the street. And that's the slope. So it's going to be up here, but it's going to be kind of up in this corner, so.
What's your suggestion, Amy? More erosion control,
Yeah, or just
bigger
maybe,
erosion
or
control?
just a second line of it, just,
Second line,
just,
parallel to what is proposed?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Homeowner and the contractor are here this evening. if you have questions for them. The project engineer is out of state, so he couldn't attend.
Are we mounting up any at all to install this, or are we gonna keep the same surface grading? Do we know?
No, it's basically the same height.
It's gonna, okay, so we're
Yeah.
not mounting up.
No,
Okay.
It's gravity.
Yeah, based on the velocities you're gonna get on something like that, I definitely am with Amy with the double line of silt fence, so if we could get that in there, I think I'll be set.
So when you say double line, you mean the silt fence and the,
Not silt fence, you did the silt saw. I'm sorry, from South Carolina,
And the
we just do
saw.
silt fence down there.
No.
We're simple.
So we'll do
Silt sock.
what's
silt,
on the
a
plan?
mulch sock,
Yeah.
backed by silt fence,
Oh, right.
I see the heads.
and, I don't know, maybe some hay bales for height, I don't know.
You can do double row with this one sock.
Yeah.
I've seen that
Double
done
row.
on a lot of steep slopes.
Okay. All right, so just on that northerly side where it's really on the slope,
Yeah.
we'll just double up on the mulch sock.
All right,
On
so
that side.
basically what's on this plan now is just doubled up on the silt sock.
Yeah,
Put a second row of
second
silts
row,
up.
right,
All right,
Not right beside each other, we're on about a 5-10
Yeah.
foot separation.
right.
5, 10, what?
Foot separation in between the two lines.
We're running out of area here.
Yeah.
Well, he only has some,
Well,
So
a few
much.
feet anyway, can't be buddy, you know, it needs a little.
Oh, yeah?
Little
All right.
separation,
so if I keep it 2 feet apart,
few.
I'll let Amy decide that.
Well, we'll look at it in the field together, but there should be some separation between, so.
all right.
Yeah.
I just don't want to install it and then have you say it's gotta be 10 feet
No,
apart.
yeah, so, yeah, we can look at that pre-construction.
All right.
Best way not to have that happen is to talk about it at a pre-construction site visit
Absolutely.
and have our administrator show you in real time.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's the best way to do it. That way you can't screw it up.
Don't give up hope.
Sure you can.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
exactly.
okay, you're right. You probably could if you really tried. But we're
Then you'll have no
gonna,
excuse.
we're gonna ask
No,
you.
it's just, it's a confined area to get the road up to the top.
I know.
And if I move it over 10 feet, then I'm kind of cutting myself even.
No, you're in a
short.
tough area, we know. It's a tough spot. We were all here when that road was built.
You all set, Jack? Joe?
So fixating on the exact same area that Amy addressed. So not only do we have the slope, but we also have that geomembrane, plastic membrane going in from the stop of stone down
Around
into the
the
hill.
sy- around
And
the
that's only
system.
5 feet from the toe, so that's even less. So, yeah, you really got very little room out there. I'm not sure if that's probably not trenched in, that's dug in and laid in, correct?
Well, you put it up and then you put the sand against it. to
Yeah,
hold
so
it.
so even though your stone box and your filter box and your filter media, infiltrating media, and the side slopes there, we're talking still 10 feet out of more disturbed area where this membrane goes in. You are literally 5 feet away from the edge of the toe of that slope. So it's real close. But you have no other choice.
Unfortunately.
But just being the reason why we're doubling up on the controls is you're that close.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
So to underscore
Yeah.
Al's position, don't screw up.
No, exactly.
You got.
No, I try
You're
not to,
threading
to
the
tell you
needle.
the
You're
truth.
threading the needle.
I think I have a fairly good reputation in this town, so.
No, you do it. I just want to. We all know how
Well, I
difficult it's going to be out
don't
here.
like to screw things up because then it makes me look bad. And I can look bad on my own, so. Adding to it.
Well said.
So the dewatering, I'm not anywhere near as concerned about because I think you're showing in one of the test bits. I think you're like 6 feet down to seasonal.
Yeah, I wasn't there for the perk test, but I know it's way above the wetland.
Yeah, way above the
Actually, because the system's practically flat, actually at almost the same height as what the other one was, or the area's still gonna be flat. So
You're almost a
it's
full
supposed to be
4 feet. The
right.
bottom, you bet a full 4 feet to water. So
Right.
dewatering shouldn't be a big issue. So with all that said, now you're manipulating, moving a lot of material around. What's your plan? You're taking it all out, stockpiling it out,
Yeah.
building it, and
It
bringing it?
wasn't, In the beginning, it wasn't planned that way because there was, the first plan I got showed no silt fence at all. Now the silt fence has kind of cut me off, and I believe in the regulations here, it says I gotta haul everything off.
That's what, okay, so there is no stockpile because there's no
Right.
room for it, and we're gonna say there's no stockpiling.
No stockpiling.
Okay.
Backfill anything
Slide loaded.
that before you leave.
And the only other question, we didn't get the NOI, but there is an NOI.
Yes.
We just didn't get the form, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I probably emailed it to you, but
Okay, we just not part of this packet, that's fine. Board of Health's already approved this?
yes.
All set, I'm done.
Yes.
Yeah, I already
Yeah.
got a plan from, I got a plan before this one.
I know.
You said those stockpiling, and then you said you're gonna put the fabric and then put the sand as the fabric's going down. So you're gonna have sand, you're gonna have material on site.
We gotta haul it in. We gotta haul it in by the truckload. But the membrane that he was talking about is the 30 mil plastic you stand up to kind of,
Prevent breakout.
yeah, put the system in a bag, actually.
And you're gonna use quite a bit of gravel to make a road, because it's got a pretty good tip to it.
Yes, it does.
No.
Well, I also have to make the dam down the end too now.
Okay.
I was planning on a gravel road in the very beginning anyways, because it was the slope of the hill. To
Right.
get a truck up and down there. But some things have been added on since.
Yeah, it's gonna take some serious material. All right, that's the only question. I didn't see a stockpile on the plan, so, and Joe picked up on it.
So that gravel platform, not a road, platform to get in and out, is that shown on the plan? And is that properly protected or adequately
Well,
protected?
it's got a line of erosion control, mulch sock, and silt fence.
So anything upgrading that, even if it's a temporary access way in gravel, it's still protected?
Yeah, it's,
It'll be made of stone anyway, so.
It's gonna be gravel. It says right on it, temporary gravel construction road. But they've got erosion controls on the outside, so. But that's the side,
He's showing the access and it is protected, so.
yeah, okay. Marissa,
All set, thanks.
Sean?
No question, sir.
Okay, can we have a motion?
so to close the hearing, I do not have a draft decision ready for tonight, but I will for the next meeting.
I move that we close the hearing for 242-1888-50 Hay Meadow Road and issue a decision within 21 days.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Thank you, you're all set.
So when the commission will review a draft decision next meeting, which is May 8th, and then I will get that out to you within 21 days. I'll try to do it as fast as I can, but then there's an appeal period, and then there's a whole bunch of pre-construction requirements that you have to meet before you do anything, so you'll have to review it together and work that out. Okay? Great.
And
Thank
at
you.
that time, I'll make an appointment with you and we'll take a stroll.
We can
out
take a
there.
look and, yeah, maybe mark out, yeah.
All right,
That's a
perfect.
good idea. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Enforcement order, 242-1884. Request to continue till 5/8.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Enforcement order, 416 Abbott Street. Request to continue till 5/8.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, and that's unanimous. And the next one is 340 Forest Street.
Just hold on one second, we're gonna have,
Yeah.
Amy will give us an overview and then we'll invite you up.
You might not have to say anything.
That would be best. Well, I'll probably have to say a couple things, but
Give us a minute, give us a minute.
All right, so, on March 27th, Conservation Department staff conducted a hazardous tree inspection at 328 Forest Street. While on site, she observed some violations at 340 Forest, which is the neighboring property. That included removal of multiple trees and other vegetation within the 25, the 50, and the 100. Unpermitted construction of an artificial koi pond, fish pond, whatever you want to call it, within the 50-foot no-build zone, possibly within the 25, we're not 100% sure. Some grading and construction of retaining walls, upgrading in the buffer zone. Okay, and then, so the current owners purchased the property in December of 2019. According to aerial imagery, the above unpermitted activities occurred sometime between 2020 and 2023. Homeowners here this evening. If you have questions, Justine did the site visit, so she's got her eyes on it. But you can come up and sit if you want.
Yeah, so, we bought it in 2019. The only thing I kind of really want to say is the trees that you pointed out that were chopped down, a giant limb this winter fell on. So I was just cleaning them up. I wasn't clearing, you can see there's a bunch of trees, no, to the left, the way they're cut. You can see there's still a bunch of trees there. They weren't damaged, so I didn't remove them. Those ones were damaged. I wasn't trying to clear land. I wish I knew these buffer rules better. I didn't. The retaining wall I built last year, it's not finished. It literally is just timbers, it's not even backfilled. So that can come out in one day. I don't, whatever. The koi pond, from that pine tree is like 65 feet to the swamp, straight back. It's not within the, it's outside the 100, or whatever, inside the 100. So obviously, by your rules, I'm in violation. So I just wait for you guys' guidance, what you want me to do to clean it all up. I don't know what else to say. If you have questions on other things, obviously I can answer them, but.
Okay, let's address these issues first.
So it's less than 65 feet.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from the neighboring yard exactly how close, but I used aerial imagery as well as looked at where the wetland fell on the neighboring property, and I believe it is within 50 feet, possibly 25. I obviously didn't enter the property to make any measurements, but, and I do just want to say I think there were some more tree removals that you can see in the before and after pictures on the 2020 aerial.
I have.
To 20.
So I took down, when we moved in, if you go back to that first picture, and I can show you where they are too.
It really doesn't matter, because we have aerial photography, public domain, you can get the stuff right off the internet, and we did, so it's not like we're violating anybody's rights here, but the reality is, what was once wooded is not.
Well, that's what.
And it was all the time since you've lived there, so, for
No,
whatever reason, whether they fell down, whether they were pruned, what were once pretty well forested is no longer.
No, that's what I was gonna, I'm not denying any of it. I'm saying, if you go back to the picture, there were a couple pines there that we removed, but that whole land there, when we moved in, is grassed. You can see it from the neighbor all the way to the next neighbor. That's all grassed, and there were pines there. I'll show you where they were, because the stumps are still there. We removed a couple pines in the back. I mean, I'm not gonna say we didn't. You can see them on the aerial. They're right there. We removed those. But that was all grass. It's when I lived there. No one's denying that I didn't do it. I'm telling you I did it. I didn't know I couldn't do it. It was, again, I should have known the law better. But when we moved in, that was just grass with a couple pines there.
So what you're saying, pretty much, the koi pond and the wall is in between the 50 and 100? And the trees that were cut down?
No, the koi ponds.
Sorry.
That's what I meant, the koi pond is in the 50 to 100?
Between the 25 and the 50.
It's between the 25 and the
25 and the
50,
50.
potentially the 25-foot no disturb zone. I wasn't able to get a measurement.
So the quick one's in a no-build zone?
Right.
Okay.
Partially, she can't get on the property.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It's in the no disturb or no build.
Oh,
What I
that's
see
the,
this as a probable cause hearing. We have no probable cause to say, look, you're definitely in violation. Cease and desist, like Amy spells it right out. Bring in an NOI to restore the area, and in all that, we're gonna know where the line is, we're gonna know what it was like and what it was disturbed, and at that point, we're gonna have enough information to make a decision. Right now, we know we've got enough probable cause to say, yeah, there's something here, and we're gonna make you do something and then follow the procedure.
So what do we need to do, craft an updated enforcement order?
And so what was, you said just the violation letter, there's no enforcement order yet, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so we have to put an enforcement order in place.
Before we issue an enforcement, I have a question. Tree removal. Now, we have buffer zone, 50 to 100 is no build. Right?
Well, 0 to 50 is no building.
0 to 50 is no build.
50 to 100 is, you know.
That's where
No
we
base.
allow, that's where we allow building.
Right.
And
But we
grading.
allow walls between the 25 and 50 is if it, for instruction for,
Yep, got walls,
okay?
generally.
And we allow cutting
Walls
of
25 to
trees
50, like retaining walls and-
in the, between the 25 and the 50. Yes?
With a waiver.
Until
We
I
have.
really, I mean,
I'm not saying this
I'm
one.
reluctant to go down the line. Until we know where the line is, we don't know to what degree there's issues. Maybe maybe it is more than 65 feet and everything's fine. We don't know that yet.
Can
But
I-
once we know that line, that's where the discussions have to get specific.
I don't think, if I may, I don't think the issue here is tree cutting. The issue here is the koi pond.
The trees were cut to put in the koi pond, the retaining wall.
Well, but what
It's
I'm
almost
getting
a
at is,
red herring. The trees don't really matter.
we allow trees to be cut all the time.
Not within 25 feet of.
Not within 25 feet,
Right.
That's where the issue is.
but there is permittable cutting of trees. It's unlikely that we would ever have permitted the koi pond.
Depending on the setback.
Right, the setback, we don't know.
We don't know, but I'm just saying, you know, if we're gonna just make it a discussion, make it about the koi pond. The tree cutting we can discuss as part of it, but, I mean,
I think what we need to do is.
he needs to,
Get feet on the ground.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
Pull a tape,
Yeah.
see
he
what
should,
our
he
setbacks
should hire
are,
his own, you should hire
and
your own.
itemize all of our
I just-
violations.
I only said the 65 feet. It could be 40 feet. I only said it for frame of mind.
Sure. Yeah.
If you guys want me to take it out, say you want me to take it out. It's not the end of the world. I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. I'm not trying to fight you on any of this. I didn't know the law. I should have known the law.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I understand that.
Yep.
Just tell me what you want me to do, and
So
I'll
we're
do
gonna-
it.
we're gonna-
You
we're
guys
gonna
are
draft
talking
up-
like I'm gonna fight you on.
No,
It is.
no,
On the contrary, we don't want to tell you to take it out
Right now,
if
we're
you
fighting
don't
amongst
have to.
ourselves, not
But
with you.
We're trying to help you you
Yeah.
might not have to take it out, we just gotta find out what it is,
All right.
We gotta investigate a little.
all right?
Yeah, that's fine. I just.
I believe that this was a mistake, but nothing looks inherently unstable right now. So what we need to do is get a delineation, figure out what the violations exactly are, and then we can make a recommendation.
I completely agree. I would add, a couple of things ahead of that, is that we'd be welcome to go on the site and to take our measurements, so we can then put it in that same frame of references for what we're ultimately gonna get. And we need to know.
Well,
No, we need a delineation though.
Yeah, but I think we wanna, you know,
And that could be part of it.
I hate
Yeah,
to,
it's all under the same.
I hate to have them hire wetland scientists if we could at least get a general idea from send the people out just to measure.
how do we do that first?
Let him do that first. Why let him go? I mean, he might be legal, and the guy's gonna spend all this money on a wetlands scientist that he doesn't need. At least if we can send one, you know,
Well, yeah, to get out there first, figure out estimated edge of wetland. We're not gonna delineate it.
no, I didn't ask you that.
We're gonna say, here's where we think the wetland is, based on soils and vegetation. Do some measurements, get a feel for how close things are, and then report back to you guys.
The main thing is, as long as he's not in the 25, then we can go from there.
But if he's in the 25, they probably still need a wetland scientist, but if they're
Then they do.
75 or 100 feet away, then they wouldn't.
That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. We gotta know how far away he
We
is,
need to know how far away.
you know, so he isn't going out and getting the wetland scientist that he might not have to.
Yep.
So what we're
What
gonna,
I see being productive of that visit, and to your advantage, if we go out there, you're gonna be able to say, within context of what you see, yeah, you got a big problem, you probably just wanna remove that koi pond and come in and tell us under, you know, we're gonna tell you under a violation, under enforcement order to remove it. We might say, geez, you know, it's pretty close, you really should hire a wetland scientist and an engineer. You probably can keep it, but until we get our boots on the ground, we don't know what kind of direction to give. And right now, he could be going out hiring, you know, wetland scientist, a surveyor, you know, consulting with an engineer, and what might he do, only to find out in the end, if you had gone there first, we'd have said, don't even bother.
Right.
Save everybody the effort, and let's get that out of the way first.
Yeah.
smoke it out.
All right, so this is what we're talking about. When those, Justine or Amy gonna go out there and see
Yeah.
where you're at.
I understand that, but.
And then if they say you're in the 25 or whatever, they're gonna tell you, take it out, because if you're in the 25, there won't be
Yeah,
any,
I
there won't be any
didn't-
discussion.
Like I said, I didn't know the rules, but I read them, the Mass General Law after you guys sent it to me, and then I researched you guys' site, and I understand all that. My issue's gonna be, like I said, I didn't know there was wetland, because I'm thinking wetland, wet, and where it's wet is far back on my property. Now I understand. The problem is, for me with this now, besides the issue that I can't do a lot of the work myself, I almost feel like taking out's gonna be easier than, even if you guys say it's within 55, and now I have to hire scientists and all this stuff, well, the issue is I now have to do all that.
You don't, you have the choice to take it out at that point
You
on your
can
own.
take it out, doesn't matter.
Right, without having spent a penny. Oh, you know, on
I understand-
consultants and all that.
I understand what you're saying. So like the worst case scenario is you guys just come back and say, hey, you gotta do this, and I take it out anyway.
Between me, you, and lampposts, if they tell you in the 25, 50, I don't know if you like koi ponds that much, but what it's gonna cost you for engineering,
That's
and
what I'm trying to say, like.
you're gonna say, get it out of
Do
here.
you know how much, like, I wish I had known this before, because there's other places I could have put this and been done. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have had to do this in wetland.
And if that is your mindset, have that same conversation
I'm
we're out there.
going-
Because make sure the other place isn't a problem.
No, I'm going to, I'm not, now I know, but I mean, like, now that I know where this is, it's, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm probably not gonna keep it either way, because even if you guys come out and say it's 55 and I have to hire a scientist, it's just,
It's not
now I'm
worth it.
still in wetland now, and now I can't even expand the things I would want to expand going forward, because now I can't do anything,
Right.
which is fine, it's whatever. But, as far as, so the pond, obviously the pond's tougher to do, but like, the retaining wall, I can just rip it out now, right?
Well, the wall.
I don't even want-
I think you want, rough, just a guesstimate, I would
Let's be-
say the
let's be
wall
real-
there might be
Let's
safe.
be careful. I mean, you're an ambitious, hardworking person, I understand that. It's not as simple as just rip it out or just take out the koi pond. There's gonna be restoration, you have to put things back, you know. So we gotta, I'm prepared to offer a motion to continue for 2 weeks.
Right.
In the interest of you getting you guys together on the field. And continue this at the next meeting, we can have this conversation, and I think in the next meeting, we're gonna resolve exactly where this thing's gonna go. And nothing's gonna happen between now and then anyway, he's kinda laid up. So,
I'm home every day. The reason I ask that is, if there is a, order to remove it, do you guys work with people on time frame?
Well, I think we can be flexible, do the,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
looking at
answer is
here.
yes.
That's
We
why I
work
was
with
trying to
you.
say the retaining wall, I can take it out now, because it's gonna help me time frame wise.
I would wait on it, and as long as we see in progress, we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
if
it's
it's-
like I said, I'm not gonna fight you guys on any of it, because it's my fault that I didn't know the rule. And
All right,
It's a
so
great attitude,
so
Dan.
what we're gonna do-
Makes us happy.
so what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue
and we
it,
can
so
go around the
if
table,
you
or
take the
if we
staff.
just kinda
well,
freewheel.
Who's gonna jump in?
Style it.
What's it?
Oh, I thought you had, want to say something?
No, I'm good.
Sean? All right, so we're gonna continue till the next meeting. In the meantime, you can talk to the staff, and they give you direction.
We gave you our emails in that letter.
Yep.
So you can shoot us an email, and we'll come out, and we'll schedule something and come out and take a peek.
Figure out exactly how far things are from the wetland and what the options are and what
Yeah,
can
I-
stay for sure, what,
like I said, I'm pretty sure I know what the outcome's gonna be, so
Okay.
I'm not,
Okay. And like you said, I think we should take no action till the next meeting, till we get some information from them. Okay?
So
So we'll
continue to May 8th?
not taking any action today,
yep,
wait till.
you want me back here May,
In 2 weeks.
and I'll reach out to them in the meantime.
Awesome.
Easy.
All right?
All right.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night, guys.
Thank you.
We'll continue for 2 weeks.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. I lost my,
Thank you.
lost my, where the hell am I agenda go? That's only, what do we got left? Corridor improvements, 114.
So, the EIR is out, I'm not sure how many of you have gotten a chance to look it over. I just want to give you guys the opportunity, if you want to make comments as a commission, we can. I think the deadline is the end of this month. I forget. I emailed it to you anyway.
You didn't, I think
I think it's
early
May.
It's
May.
It's early May,
Yes, yep,
so before our next meeting.
yep. Let's see. I think I have color rendering of plans.
I would think Mosquito Brook is our biggest cause for concern on this, how they do that, both sides.
Right. So basically, it's the stretch between Waverly Road and Willow. That's right. And there's going to be, and there's going to be some takings of properties and demolishing of houses to allow for the widening of the roadway to get, proper turning lanes and middle lanes and all that. And there's going to be,
You said there's gonna be taking on the mall side?
let's see.
I think up by Hillside Road. You know
Oh,
where
way
that-
up there, but
that
it's,
dog
doesn't it,
groomer place,
doesn't
you
it
know,
start,
and-
does it start by the North Andover Mall, or does it start at Waverly?
No, Waverly, heading south.
Oh, it starts at Waverly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they cut back the other part of it.
That's what I, like, when she said taking them by the mall.
Right.
Royal Crest. Sure what they do there. Yeah, I know, I see it. But
This is gonna be very, very interesting when it's done.
they already have a
What, they
sidewalk.
put 7 intersections or something?
So, yeah, they're like.
That pedestrian
multi-use
crossing, they're
paths,
making a
10-foot.
signalized intersection now? With actual vehicle access?
That's what I think so.
So show what it looks like.
It is.
That's wetland on that side too, right?
It's a new light according to,
New light, go further, move your slide to the left, nope, the other way. Right there.
yeah.
This-
Roll across.
What is now the pedestrian crossing is now a double barrel roadway. That's wetland left and right. They don't need to put that road in as part of their project. That's private property.
What's that crossing look like?
That's a pedestrian crossing, and then now they're opening it to a roadway. You're gonna have to justify the need for that.
Well, are you talking about this thing?
there's two new.
Right there, that light is the pedestrian crossing by the hockey rink. And now they're taking what was the flashing yellows and
Yeah.
reds, and they're turning it into a fully signalized double crosswalk roadway coming into Royal Crest.
Roadway.
In what is a resource area.
Is that roadway already there? Or is that a new?
You're not
roadway
improving
going
it as
into
part of,
Royal?
as part of the state project, especially where it's private property.
I didn't look closely at this. But this thing,
Okay,
is that
I'm not
what you're
gonna-
talking about, to be the wetland?
So what I remember when the other guys were coming in, they did the whole comprehensive wetland.
Yeah.
This whole area is wet, left and right, soaking wet. And all of this is in that area, what is a narrower driveway parking area that loops around this way is now gonna be a roadway. That is, I don't even think that's permissible.
Okay.
It's on private property, one, and two, how can they justify the need when it doesn't exist and the other driveway is already at a signalized intersection?
That one of the goals was improved access.
Yeah, so if they're saying they're avoiding and minimizing, then no, you're not.
Right.
That doesn't need to be there, and we're not, and it shouldn't be there, and I'll appeal it myself if the commission doesn't
Okay, that's
deny
the other
it.
light. There's gonna be a light at the top of Hillside Road there.
They're getting rid of the New Jersey
Right.
draft.
So that's the second one, right?
There are
That's
two
the-
new lights.
So that's the second one. And the third one's up at Hillside. So that one in the middle, right there, that I said is the second one, right below the word
That's
Royal Crest,
that's existing.
that is the existing gatehouse. They've realigned that.
Yeah, because the entrance is, the light's further back that way and the entrance is there, so that makes sense.
And I don't believe there's a resource area at that front gate, but that other one,
No, there isn't.
that other one, I know for a fact that when we were looking at early
this
phases
is
of what
this
Merrimack
one.
was proposing, and way beyond that, when Royal Crest came in and was doing their comprehensive wetland delineation, so they could do their dewatering.
Weren't they trying to put an electrical line through there, Joe? When they tried to get
Merrimack?
the power to that building?
Merrimack?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's almost second, yeah, that,
this intersection, right?
yeah, but
Oh,
the one I'm getting all on my high horse on is the one further to the north.
this one.
If we keep moving that way, the next slide, I guess, is what it is.
You're going to the pedestrian crossing.
Yeah,
So what I read was they want to put a sidewalk and a bike lane continuously on that stretch. And
Complete
have,
streets.
and eliminate that,
Come back this way.
there's a choke point on traffic right in
Right.
that area, and there really is.
Yeah, we gotta go the other way.
All right, so this is
That's
down.
okay.
So there also, there's a drain that comes down, it's a DOT drain that comes at a 90-degree angle with town drain pipes in this area right here. And that's where this got blown out in the August storms. So they're going to abandon that, take it down, and they're getting an easement with Market Basket to provide for a discharge point with a new basin for that. Not direct wetland, but probably in the buffer zone for that.
And into the basins in front, the proposed, or?
Proposed. So here, this is a,
so when I raised that question when Mark Bass was in here before us about, what do they know about what I know? This is what I was talking about.
so an easement with Market Basket to do this stormwater basins here for that.
So they have the capacity?
That was my question when Market Basket was here. Now that we know that it's officially going there, how do they intend to manage that water?
The green area, what's the green area right here?
This.
That's Italy, turn east to west.
That's the easement. That's the easement
It's a hockey stick.
for a new stormwater feature that's gonna receive the pipe outflow that they're moving.
And the water's gonna go this downhill toward Market Basket.
So,
We had no calculations when they went before us for
They asked for them.
the entrance for the culvert. Is that culvert gonna be able to take that water for the new entrance they put in?
I mean, it does go there eventually, but it goes overland behind this house.
Which house?
That flow, the flow that they're gonna put here does go behind this house, through it, and then eventually reaches,
It's a timing thing.
but it's overland.
Consolidating all this water into one
Yeah,
area.
you're sending it a lot quicker there, so
Yeah,
it's gonna
and
get, the peaks are all gonna align
And
and.
is that culvert gonna take it to the entranceway?
Do we get the map? Do we ever get to see the
So-
map behind that?
So I was reviewing all of the appendices, and Appendix H is the stormwater report in calcs, but it was missing from the Dropbox. So I alerted Stantec of that and asked for them to send it to me or upload it so everyone else can see it, but I was surprised that I was searching and searching, and I'm like,
Yeah, so
it's not there.
There's
So-
some questions here.
So let me, make sure I understand where we're at. They filed a environmental notification form.
ENF.
An ENF?
Executive office issued a scoping certificate, which required them to take it to an environmental
EIR,
impact report.
that's right.
But it was a lower grade than a full-blown EIR. Thought it was like an
Yeah.
abbreviated EIR? Remember what they called it?
Single environmental impact report.
Yeah, so it's
It's
a
pretty
simpler.
thin, it's pretty thin.
Yeah, you haven't seen a full-blown EIR.
Yeah, it's not
So
as,
they held them to a lower standard, but by doing that, that almost preempts any other activity at the local level, other than for us to give comment, that the decision's gonna be made at the state level. the state has no jurisdiction on our bylaw.
I know,
So if we're
I know.
gonna be offering any opposition, we need to say, I think, that we're going to hold them to the standards of, to the requirements of, that they're a state agency, they're gonna say, we're not gonna do it.
I know.
We're gonna say that we're gonna hold them to our bylaw,
Yeah,
and that their submission fails to provide the minimum documentation for us to issue a decision, specifically with regards to stormwater calculations as they discharge down to market basket, and the necessity of some of the roadway connections where they claim to be minimizing and avoiding impacts, but yet are creating new impacts where they are in fact avoidable. We want to say all that, because that would be in support of our bylaw.
yeah.
And if we say that early enough and get it into the Executive Office of Environmental Affairs review, they may act on it and include it in their final decision. If we wait for that to come out and we don't say anything,
Right.
it's done.
Yeah, it would be nice to get some type of stormwater calcs. That's a lot of, and what if WorldCrest ever does develop? And if they undersize this, all this money they're spending on drainage,
Royal Crest is a wetland.
I know that.
It's land underwater,
I know that.
So it's two different watersheds.
qualifies as a wetland.
Yeah.
They'll be developed, they'll be held to their pre-development.
There's standing water there all the time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all the time.
When I finally get the
Okay.
stormwater plan for WorldCrest, they said the water table was between 18 and 30 inches.
That's a seasonal dry, low water table. Springtime, it's at the surface.
You know, without having the data, every time I drive into Royal Crest, there's standing water everywhere you look.
Oh, yeah.
I know, but we did do an ANRAD when I first got on board.
Yes,
That's why I
Yes.
remember that entrance, there's a resource area there.
Yeah.
Not,
I
this
recall.
is a, this was not determined to be a resource area. This is a,
Remember, we had that poor guy, what was his name?
and so
Yeah.
this is where
Lanny,
they're
yeah.
doing
I
that,
remember you talking
that
about.
new.
He was a nice guy, and he was trying to sell a bill of goods that were,
Well, he was working for a
well,
long time.
he's got to honor the people who's giving him his paycheck.
That's the location.
Yeah, I think
It
there's
is.
already a road there based on this, but.
It is, there is, but I don't think, there's not, this isn't a wetland, this is just a slate-lined water feature.
I think there is a roadway there, Joe.
Yeah.
Where the crosswalk
There's
is?
a roadway.
Yeah, but it's been closed, you're right, but it's been closed off. But it's, that's very different than what they're showing.
Right. Oh, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
this is existing conditions.
Where's that sheet from? Is that from, that's from us?
This is the ANRAD,
That's our, okay.
yes. So this is where it's,
So we,
this is what's this is what's there now, so.
can you
there's-
pull up that other, in that same area, the state slide?
Yeah.
Right here. See how the roadway, that slide has it coming out this way? They've shifted this whole road over to the south. So they're avoiding the fountain, but I think there's a resource area to that south side. See, they're straightening that out and sliding it over to the south, to the right.
It should be a flood zone too, shouldn't it? If we're getting compensatory.
No, if it wasn't near a building, maybe they didn't, no, they in-ratted the whole site, didn't they? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And then they walked away.
Well, we're not gonna do this from the table tonight. I mean, how do you intend to get comments? Do you want us to make them individually and funnel them through you and have it come from the chair as it,
Yeah.
from the commission?
Yeah,
When do you need them by?
well, let's see, it's, hold on. May 10th, so they're due May 10th. Let me just look at it.
On this, comments on this?
It's 2 weeks from Friday.
2 weeks from Friday? Okay.
Ish.
Can we send them, compile them, and review them at the next meeting?
Yeah.
We do have
Yeah.
one more meeting before that?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it that way
So we can all have comments and then,
Yeah, so maybe like by the 3rd,
Get 'em to
Friday the
you.
3rd, get them to me and I'll put them together.
Meeting's on the 8th.
That's perfect.
Okay. All right, we'll do it that way.
I just have a question. I'm not familiar with
Wait, is the meeting the 8th or the 20th? I'm sorry.
the 8th. Yep.
It is the 8th.
So who normally looks at the wetlands on projects like this at the state level? Does it go to DEP or who?
No, we'd still,
As-
they have to come for an NOI with us.
They do, okay.
Yes, so we would review the
It
wetland
only
line.
depends on what the final decision that's issued out of, if the Executive Office of Environmental Affairs says. They may say, you don't have to go to local compound. Whatever they ultimately say.
They could say that?
They can say that. They have the authority to say that. State agency, going through another state agency, they, trust me, I've been there. They have the authority to do that.
Yes, they
I
do.
did not realize that.
We've tried to fight this battle before.
We have. 125, right around the corner.
We fought this battle before, between them and Keolis. It's always the same thing.
Interesting.
So the Office of Environmental Affairs takes the first look at like, the environmental impacts.
Mass Road, and Mass Ave and Chicken Road, with all my years of experience.
Yeah.
Well, that was
state
still,
engineer said to
was
us.
still an NOI though,
No, that was-
not
2
under the
years.
bylaw.
That was the engineer that was
Are
like
you
12 years
talking
old.
about, are you talking about under the bylaw or even the Wetlands Protection Act?
Both. Executive Officer of Environmental Affairs, when they issue their final decision, they're gonna render the a papal judgment right out of the Vatican that says, oh yeah, don't worry about air quality, don't worry about noise, don't worry about vibration or dust. Don't worry, they can say whatever they want. It depends on who's leading the herd. All the best we can hope for is we get on record our comments.
Yeah.
And make it a part of the record, so when they issue that decision, we can try to challenge it, but chances are, we're not gonna have
They need,
a leg
they
to stand
need
on.
401 water quality. I mean, they need that.
That's
There are.
Army Corps though, right?
What's that?
That's Army Corps.
That's the state, it's 401 water quality state DEP.
I thought it was Army Corps.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's Army
Oh,
Corps,
I'm sorry.
which is why
Okay.
they,
Oh, all right.
which is why they
So-
can't
So just,
skirt that one.
they're just gonna deal with each other, possibly.
The Old Boy Network.
No kidding.
I did not realize that.
So again,
Okay.
we're beating around. The reality is, we gotta get on record, raise the questions, and take it from there and hope they do the right thing.
Yep. Yep.
Anything else to talk about on this one?
No, I'll just make sure you guys got the stuff you need to look at it.
Do me a favor, send that again. I know what,
Oh,
I know we got it.
I'll email you the relevant stuff
Yeah.
instead of making you go through the Dropbox and everything.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Do we really want to go through the state regs right now?
Oh,
Start
I
with
want you
reg
to
number
be
one.
aware.
Huh?
I just want you to be aware that it's happening.
136 pages of state regs.
Yeah.
I read them all.
And I believe that you did.
I believe you
Four
did.
score and
I
7 years ago.
I absolutely believe you.
I did.
100%.
She does that for a living.
It was not fun.
I was just getting through the original regs when they
I know, right?
At least they didn't just copy in other states this time.
Yeah, they kind of did.
So,
Okay, I'm game.
Mass Society of Municipal Wetland Professionals has a draft letter prepared. What's in your package is a summary of what's in their letter. They did not comment on the stormwater revisions. They have other organizations or partners that are looking at that. We haven't gotten their draft comments yet, but I know the engineers in the room can talk about how ridiculous the stormwater regs changes are. But,
Ridiculous by way of relaxation, or?
No.
by
No.
way of- again,
No.
Arbitrarily harder for
They're
no
make-
scientific.
yeah.
More stringent than NIPD's itself, or more to align with
It-
NIPD's?
It's more to align with the MS4 permit. So they're requiring infiltration of 1 inch on all sites. So it doesn't matter the soil type.
1 acre or more of disturbed, doesn't matter. All
Doesn't matter as long, if you're required to file,
So once you hit
under-
threshold, it's only those parts.
it's not a threshold thing. It's based on if you're required to file under the local bylaw for a stormwater permit.
Infiltration, they're getting rid of soil type consideration, it's just a
Yeah.
flat rate across A, B, and C, and D, but the D is like, maybe you don't have to.
It's pretty impossible to infiltrate that much on a sea soil that can't receive the waters.
And their argument is it was runoff to begin with.
They're like,
Their argument is based on the MS4 permit, which 1 inch is the requirement to meet the phosphorus reduction and all the other reductions that are required.
phosphorus is a new have to remove thing.
Yeah.
It's a new standard now, right?
There's a new standard for phosphorus. TSS pumps from 80% to 90%. I'm trying to think of other ridiculous. Oh, the big change, and it's not that big, I think, to a lot of people, but they increased the storms intensities to align with NOAA plus.
Except we're arguing over NOAA. I think NOAA 14 is great.
Yeah.
I think NOAA 14 plus is a little bit extra for what we should be designing for, and they're saying NOAA 14 plus isn't extra enough.
So NOAA 14, yeah, so they're requiring the 90 percentile of the NOAA 14 plus, which basically bumps all the storm intensities up significantly.
And a lot of it is just a gross misunderstanding of what NOAA 14 is trying to predict.
Yeah.
They're just going, no, we want it to be harder. No, we want it to be stronger storms.
Oh, yeah. Trying to think what else. I mean, a lot of the regulations are centered around the velocity zone, so like right next to the ocean and development in those zones, so we're not
We don't have a lot
concerned
of
with that here,
coastline in
so.
North Andover, so we're good there.
And then it's gonna be, they were already, on New Hampshire's, I'm sure Mass is doing the same, it's the resiliency, 50 years, it could be 2050, 2075, and whether that's a 3-foot or a 5-foot sea level rise. 3 foot's attainable, never mind 5 foot attainable in another 25 years beyond that. They're basically saying no more development, is what they're saying.
But, I mean, I think the main thing is, like, I know a lot of different companies have submitted letters. I've sat in on a lot of the different public listening sessions they've had, so there's a lot of comments out there, and a lot of comments from a lot of different organizations are saying the same thing, so I guess, I don't know if it's worthwhile for us to comment the same comments, or
Just, my comments are going through like 3 different avenues on that.
yeah.
And these comments are due next week.
And they extended it, what, a month
Yeah,
from the original
already,
date?
Yeah, so like, for instance, the new stormwater handbook is 860 pages. Behemoth, and it's far too complex for Concom's or conservation agents.
And this is part 1. They've already
Yeah.
said that they're gonna be issuing a
Yeah.
part 2.
It's a part 2 revisions, right? Yep.
So we're
I
looking
mean,
at something that your professional organization has worked together
Yes.
to get out.
Yes.
They're not looking for us to rubber stamp it, they're looking for us to
No, they're
customize
saying,
our
here's
own
what we're
letter.
doing, if you want to do it, if you want to do your own, there's certain points of it that you feel strongly about.
Just the NOAA plus, and I've already complained to everybody and their cousin about it.
Yeah,
The
and
infiltration,
they're referencing that
Yeah.
as well in their letter.
the setback.
But they don't think it's hard enough. I think the opposite of that.
They have new setbacks for all stormwater
Well,
features.
yeah.
That's a big one.
Like for building year then?
Oh, say that
Like
again?
from like certain infiltration features from property lines and buildings, they have new setbacks included in the regulations that are more stringent.
A lot of it is clarifying. The last manual had different data depending on what page you were on. You could, like setbacks to infiltration basins, there's like 3 different answers depending on what page of the old manual you're on. So a lot of it was clarifying and usually doing the furthest one out.
Yeah.
The right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing.
It does. It does. We want us all to live in high rises. But not in their backyard.
Makes the lawyers, right, Jeff?
Well, I just, you know, I wanted,
All right, well,
it to be on your radar.
Yeah. Sounds like Marissa and I have
But-
enough steam
what-
blowing off on this one already.
What, if we all submitted comments on any portion of that 136 pages, you're gonna compile it, you're gonna send it in, and it's going into the dark hole somewhere in the State House? It's going into the basement,
It will be taken into consideration.
where the box with the X-Files that Fox Mulder had got hung.
It'll
be there. It'll be there.
they're gonna put it in the circular.
I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, I don't feel strongly
Oh,
one way or another, to be honest.
I plan to submit some comments
Okay.
just on one item alone.
Okay. That's all right, and that's okay.
But I'm not kidding myself either.
Right.
No,
No, I know.
waste of,
You know, when they tell you your opinion matters, they don't mean it.
I know they're,
They don't mean it.
But when they adopt this manual in 30 years, you're gonna be real sad you didn't get your word in.
They're doing it this year.
all right,
so.
I'm with you.
all right.
I mean, if you guys have, you know,
Pardon?
yeah, we do.
Oh, let's do it.
30
Yeah.
and,
Mr. Chairman, let's do
And
the
time
decision.
marches on. Okay. Decision on 242-1878 30 N Road.
you got it?
I know. Yeah.
So, it's Sean, Lou, Joe, and Jack that are the eligible members on this one.
How did I miss this one?
You missed two hearings, so,
I've only missed 2 all year.
and you missed those two. that we discussed.
Was this during hunting season in November? Is that-
Yes.
Yeah,
It
okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah. So,
So we put them through a protracted discussion, and everything we had asked for ultimately ended up on the plans.
Right.
With the exception of, other than him saying that the pump discharge stilling basin would be installed. He said that, but he showed where it was located, but the drawing doesn't say it, so I think we should specifically
Say that
condition
it's-
that it be installed.
okay.
But I think everything else was on the plan.
I think the bond is too low.
I saw the same thing, 2,000 seemed low to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think's a good number?
5.
I agree.
It's a brook crossing.
Michelle, yes.
Yeah.
We'll have the same conversation every time about the
Okay,
bond.
that's right, we
Just
got
give her a new default number. Is it 5?
5 is the default. 5,000 is the old 2,000.
Is that what you guys
Yeah, we're
want?
still, you know, with some
That's what
of the
Brad suggested.
bonds, we're in the dark ages.
I
And
know.
like, Al, what you're saying?
Money equals compliance.
5,000?
5,000?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I agree with you.
They have nothing else on that.
I'm Tom Hagan on this one, I got no vote.
All right.
Any questions?
You get that? Tom Hagan, I said I'm Tom Hagan. You're out, Tom.
Anybody have, if nobody has any
Well,
questions?
wartime consigliere.
I want a wartime consigliere. You're out, Tom.
If anybody doesn't have any questions, entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt the orders of conditions as drafted for DEP 242-1878 30 Ann Road,
And
As amended.
and amended, with the $5,000 bond. Good point.
Yep.
And the requirement for the installation of the dewatering.
Yep.
basin.
Jack said.
You have a motion and
So All in favor?
Jack second.
All in favor?
Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's unanimous. Motion to adjourn,
I did not vote because I
So
cannot.
moved.
and one abstention.
Second.
You need to note who didn't
All
vote.
those in favor say
So
aye.
Al, Lisa,
Opposed?
Sean, Lou, me, and Jack.
Yep.
abstain.
Way to work, Sean.
Oh, boy.
Party on, Wayne.